Hi everybody, I'm back again for the next episode with IntmacyTV and chatting about the TV show Married at First Sight. So I watched it for the last couple of nights and I found it quite fascinating. So that's why I thought I would do another update. Funnily enough, myself and my girlfriend, she's over in Vietnam at the moment and we have been watching it. She's been streaming it while I've actually been watching it live, obviously, as best as I possibly can. One moment, I'm just going to pop this down here. Oh look, I've got one of my little neighbours here, totally cute. Say hi. I'm in the library at the moment because I was going to do another Facebook Live outside, but it's a little bit too windy, so I've come inside. I'm a bit, like eyes been watering. It's been fun. Anyway, so she's been messaging me on WhatsApp and she's like, don't tell me what happened, I want to watch it. And she's been streaming the show too. And we've been discussing, what we think's going on and whether we think that anybody is going to survive the entire show Married at First Sight. So last night was the dinner and it was quite interesting because obviously the way that they cut the ads is like, drama. And granted, there was some drama last night. But what I found interesting was the fact that there was a few really good topics that were brought up. So last night's dinner at the Married at First Sight, so for those of you joining that actually know, not sure what we're talking about, they talked about three different things. So the word communication came up, children came up, and of course sex came up. And that's where things got quite heated. Now, normally I would have Jane with me and the two of us love to sit there and we love to do a bit of a debate and talk about these different topics, but I'm just going to debate all by myself, so it's not a problem. So let's talk about the first thing that which was communication. So it was interesting watching them talking, but then also going back and watching what the professionals were observing while the couples were sitting at the dinner table. And part of it was about communication. Now, forgive me if I get the names of the couples wrong. But Monica and I think it's Mark, the M&M couple. Okay, so the two of them, they use humour and they use a lot of humour. And, I think that's their coping mechanism on how to actually deal with the situation that they've been put into. Because, let's get serious. We've literally just married a complete stranger. And we're expected by society to go along, the whole, we get married, we get intimate, we have children, we discuss all these pretty hardcore topics. So with Monica and Mark, the way that they deal, and it's a good match that way, is they deal with their communication through a lot of humour. It's good, it keeps it lighthearted because it's quite a serious situation. And with these two, I can see that they're going to be a little bit slower as in how they progress because they're going to have a little bit more caution. And I think that humour comes with that caution of, where are we supposed to be at and what are we supposed to be doing. So we're talking about this week's episodes of Married at First Sight and talking about the dinner. So it was communication, children and sex came up and it became a hot topic. So the way that the different couples are communicating is quite interesting, or not communicating. In the case of Jess and I think it's Dave, the douchebag, Dave. So, you know what? I love Jess. I think Jess is freaking amazing. And granted, she showed some vulnerability and expressed that she didn't like her body. And she was self-conscious about her body when she was in her bikinis. And you know what? When I saw her in the... hey, check it out. She doesn't want to give up the bottle. Too funny. I'm being raided over here by one of my neighbours. she was self-conscious about being in her bikinis, and quite frankly, I found Jess looked beautiful in her bikinis. I really, thank you, honey. I really think that she did. Her body was actually quite beautiful, and I really hope that one of the fashion houses or one of the lingerie houses picks her up for a gig, because quite frankly, Jess is never going to be a size 6. She's never going to be tiny, the tiny that we actually, think of when we think of models. That's not her body shape. But I thought she was perfectly in proportion. So Jess, you freaking rocked. Her partner Dave, communicated to a horse more. I love that. I laughed so hard. It was literally like, thanks, honey. It was literally, sorry about the jingling. It was literally, she was right. He didn't even try. You know why? Because he looked at her and he went, she is not the kind of woman that I've got in my fantasy, because he bats so far above his average. So why are you single? You can't even make it past the second date. And I laughed when he said, I normally stay in relationships too long, so I thought I'd cut it off really fast. You cut it off in day 4. Don't get any faster than that. And you were married to this person. So can you imagine how you behave when you're just dating? Scary. So the next thing that came up was children. Wow. Okay, so I always say that I think children are a non-negotiable. You either want them or you don't. And, things that come up as saying, and I was watching another TV show, I think, after that, and the person was saying, I think it was Winners and Losers, actually, the other night. And someone was saying, oh, no, I want to be with you so much, because she said, I don't want children, and you do, so you need to really go and sit down and think about it. Now, the person came back, and they actually turned around and they said, no, I want to be with you. Now, I question that a lot, and I debate that a lot, because you're giving up something that I believe that is what you really desire. So if you're giving up something you really desire because you're really wanting to be with that person, my questioning is, later down the track, are you going to regret that decision? And it's a lot of pressure for both parties. So I always say it's non-negotiable. So at the dinner last night, they literally, on the show, as I said, they were talking about communication, children and sex. So when we got to the children part, Keller, the guy with the tats all over him, he actually got quite narky, because his value on family is so high. And Bella, who's Miss I'm in love and I'm high on cocaine, she was saying, which I thought was interesting, they brought up the fact that her partner had a child, but she also expressed how she didn't want children, and that the reason, why, is because she wants to concentrate on her relationship with her partner. And I thought, I listened to all of that, and a lot of it was conflicting. So, you know what? I know that all of you are out there thinking that Bella and Michael, I think it is. So Bella's the radio personality, and Michael is the guy that does fashion. They're just like all over each other like a bad rash. And I think that lust and passion is vital to the success of a relationship. However, I'm going to say that I don't think this relationship is going to last, based on what Bella said, because it was contradictory to the fact that her partner had a child. Now, we don't know, we do know a little bit of information. Obviously, the child is in a different country, but he goes back very regularly for a dad. So, I found that quite interesting. So the third thing that came up was the taboo topic of sex that Bella just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing about, because she wanted to know, is everybody as loved up as her and her partner, Michael? Now, this is where I'm going to do some debating, because number one, I thought Bella was correct. Sex is such a taboo topic, and why is it that we're so guarded about talking about intimacy, something that you are doing together that's intimate together, and why are we just all so guarded about it, or we just don't want to talk about it? But here's where I'm going to play devil's advocate. Now I'm going to play Jane, actually. And Bella really wanted to find out when and how and all that other stuff about the other people on the table. Did they have sex straight away? When did they do it? And she just kept going on because, yes, they were right. There was no boundaries there. And this is where I think it was inappropriate because, quite frankly, you're on TV. So you're not having a discussion with 8 people or you and 7 other people. You're talking about your sexual relationship on TV. Now, granted, I'm fine with, having this discussion because this is my job. This is what I do. And I believe that if I can talk about my personal life, with you guys, that maybe you might learn and grow. Here's my little neighbour. So for me, it's quite a different scenario, but we are sitting there talking about a game. These guys, they're doing the married game and they're sitting there and they're going, who's winning? This is a game. So if you want to get my personal view on, do I think any of the couples, and we've already got the gay couple, they're out. We've already got the douchebag Dave and lovely Jess, they're out. So 2 down. We've got 3 couples to go. Do I think any of them are going to literally survive this season? Really? As in, not just get to the end and go, yeah, I want to give it a go. I'm talking past this. Do I think that any of these couples who are married at first sight are going to continue? I'm going to say no. I don't believe any of them are going to survive. I think once the cocaine hit, because you need to remember that when you're being passionate, and passion I think is vital to a relationship, but you need to remember that intimacy, okay, when you're getting intimate with somebody, that you've got all these drugs. So these guys have got cocaine and ecstasy floating through their body. So when we come back to the real world, how sustainable, you can do it sustainable if you know what you're doing, but how sustainable is it going to be that the way that they are, because they're on TV right now, okay? And we need to go back to the real world where he's going off to New Zealand every 6 weeks. Bye. Say bye. So do I think that they're going to survive? No. Do I think that Kella and, I can't remember, I'm so sorry, I think it's Nicole, his partner, are going to survive? I'm going to say no, because she's seeing that her partner hasn't matured enough to know, and it's understandably why, being the fact that Kelly used to be in the Navy. Can Kella actually, learn how to socialise in a more appropriate way that suits his new wife's environment? I'm going to say no. I think it's going to be a deal breaker. The children thing, I think actually with the loved up couple is going to be a deal breaker. And Monica and Mark, they're just really relaxed, and because they're masking everything by comedy, that can only last for so long. So I don't think they're going to last either, which is quite sad. But if you disagree with me, I would love you guys to pop some notes down. You're going to get me on here as often as possible now. Hopefully every day we're going to have a talk about whatever. So anyway, have a good day. Still believe in love. Even if it's not working out for TV people, guess what? I think we can do it much better than them. So until next time, make sure you go onto IntmacyTV.com.au, register to get your free book on love, sex and relationships, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.